They get that back.
Sign it.
Yeah, sign the contract. But I want to take everything. I ain't leaving nothing. I want to take everything.
When people, what I got from that is he's a hater. If you don't know me as a person, let's say you don't like me. You don't know me. You feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Him. If everybody including win, I mean win. Fuck.
Question for you.
You're a proud father.
After months of staying quiet amid controversy and the collapse of a massive fight, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has finally spoken up. He fired back at Terence "Bud" Crawford with one of the most ruthless call-outs boxing has seen in years. When Tank told Crawford to put pen to paper, it did more than stir excitement. It reignited a rivalry that had been simmering in the background and now feels impossible to avoid. This moment comes as both fighters head in very different directions. Crawford currently sits at the very top of the sport, unbeaten and undisputed, after dominating Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. That victory made him a 3-division undisputed champion, and he's even held discussions with Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh about potential historic future matchups.
Mayweather or Crawford?
Crawford all day long.
Be surprised at how good Crawford was in there with Canelo.
I always said to everyone that Crawford is a fantastic fighter. Skill, movement, he has everything that it takes to become the best. And there's no one there to touch him in this game. So when the Canelo fight was announced with Crawford, I said to everyone that Crawford's gonna win. People looked at me like, are you sure? Like, is he big enough? I go, trust me, Crawford is big enough, he's strong enough, and he can beat Canelo. And guess what? He went there and did it.
At the same time, Tank Davis is coming off one of the toughest periods of his career. He faced backlash after a disputed draw with Lamont Roach, saw planned Jake Paul event fall apart because of legal problems, disappeared from the public eye for a while, and dealt with constant criticism questioning his legacy.
Tank Davis is not the face of boxing because he doesn't fight often. He fights once a year. And he's probably one of the best talents in the world. I love Tank Davis. I love watching him fight. I love when he goes in the ring and just demonstrates power and speed and he doesn't give a sh. I love that. But he has to fight more often. We want to see Tank fight 3-4 times a year. Tank Davis, I dare you to break my record. 5 world title fights in 1 year. Let's go.
You think he's lost?
What pushed Tank to suddenly target the pound-for-pound leader? To understand that, you have to rewind to the origin of this tension. Tank and Crawford have been orbiting each other for years, trading quiet jabs online long before a matchup between them was ever considered realistic. Trigger happened when Crawford shared a brief post hinting that someone was upset about being left out of the Ring magazine gala. He didn't directly name Tank, but the message was clear enough. Tank responded right away. Situation quickly escalated from there. Gervonta Davis responded by flexing his financial success, claiming he still brings in more money. Terence Crawford, however, replied in a calm but cutting way, suggesting that bragging about wealth is often the first move of someone lacking real substance. He pointed to his own smart investments, clean record, and respected position in boxing to make his point. That response appeared to hit a nerve. Tank became visibly more emotional and shifted the focus to Crawford's career, accusing him of prioritizing big paydays over true legacy and saying he only takes elite-level fights when circumstances F. Ors him too, but the argument crossed a serious line when Tank involved Crawford's wife in a disrespectful post. Although the tweet was quickly deleted, screenshots had already circulated online, ensuring the damage was done, and Crawford made it clear he wasn't going to ignore it.
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
From that moment on, This was no longer ordinary back and forth online, it turned deeply personal. Crawford has always believed that real answers should be given in the ring, not on social media, while Tank has a history of letting things spill outside the ropes. That contrast alone has fans wondering if this tension could finally explode into a massive Crawford versus Davis showdown. The timing makes the discussion even louder, considering where Crawford stands right now, undefeated, dominant, and coming off victories over names like Spence, Madrimov, and Canelo. He sits on top of the sport, controls multiple divisions, and has the freedom to chase greatness wherever it leads, from 150 for all the way up to 175 if legacy outweighs comfort.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moving weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Right now, everyone is lining up to face Crawford. Saudi Arabia is actively looking to build blockbuster events around him, and Turkey Alalshik is clearly positioning him as a once-in-a-generation star in the sport.
Crawford and Canelo, I'm pretty sure.
Shakur and Tank?
That would be dope. But if Tank was not so cocky to be on a Terence Crawford undercard, that would be dope. But I don't see Tank taking a backseat to no fighter.
Meanwhile, is trying to take back control of his public perception. The draw against Roach slowed his momentum, and the disputed knee incident, which many believe should have been scored as a knockdown, sparked serious debate about his decision-making inside the ring. Crawford escalated the tension further during his appearance on Club Shay Shay, where he openly claimed that Roach had earned the victory. He described Tank as overconfident and implied he hadn't treated the fight seriously, remarks that clearly bruised Tank's ego. The situation only got worse when the planned bout with Jake Paul fell through.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over.
Tank was hoping for a moment to bounce back, but instead he was hit with headlines about lawsuits and a cancelled event. While he insists he wasn't at fault and claims Jake Paul pulled out for his own reasons, the damage to his reputation had already taken hold. That only pushed Tank towards seeking the biggest possible fight and a chance at redemption, which naturally points to Crawford. The twist, however, is that Crawford struck first. He started landing subtle but sharp digs at Tank, questioning his invitations, his accomplishments, and the level of his opponents. Then came the line that really stung. Crawford suggested Tank isn't actually making more money and questioned who he's really been fighting. Unlike anything Roach did, this comment cut deep, highlighting the reality Tank already knows Crawford is headlining global events, making history against the best and hitting his peak, while Tank's spotlight has dimmed.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference to people.
Who you think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
This is where the story really shifts. Imagine being Tanka's former star, knockout machine, and pay-per-view draw who once headlined arenas in Atlanta and Vegas with celebrities watching, the future wide open. Now, real-world setbacks have stalled his momentum, while the division, rankings, and fans keep moving forward. For the first time in his career, Tank finds himself being underestimated, and that pressure finally pushed him to snap.